What's up, bot fam? In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 things that you should be focusing on as a chat marketing agency in 2020. Before we jump into it, I want you to understand a few things first. Number 1, you need to understand how to approach a new business or an existing client and explain why and how Messenger can add value to their business, why and how SMS can add value to their business, why and how voice can add value to their business, and so on. These are just some of the things I'm going to be talking about in this video, because once you can do this, you're going to position yourself as an authority figure to your client, because you're going to know what's on the horizon, what's coming, and also you're going to know how to execute. This is how we have been able to position ourselves as authority figures to our clients and really increase the trust and confidence that they have in our abilities as chat marketers over the last 3 years. Now, in order to execute on all of these wonderful things, you need to know how to use certain tools. Now, when we first got into chatbots about 3 years ago, we were mainly only using 2 tools, ManyChat and ChatFuel, which help you build bots on Facebook Messenger only. Now things have changed a little bit, but back then it was just Facebook Messenger, those 2 platforms. Well, now, a few years later, there's a lot more that we need to know how to do, and actually, in order to actually add value to our client's business, we need to know how to use Dialogflow, an artificial intelligence agent and natural language processor. We need to know how to create third-party integrations with Integromat, which is similar to Zapier if you're familiar with that. We use all sorts of other platforms like Walletly, which is a great mobile wallet tool, and that can help you create mobile wallet tickets or rewards programs. So there's a lot of other tools that we now use in this whole system of a Facebook Messenger bot, where it can't just be one platform, one tool anymore. It really is so many different things that help you create a better and better experience, increase revenue, increase conversions across the line. So those are just a few of the things I want you to understand before we jump into the 3 things. So number 1 is going to be SMS. Now, I'm sure all of you are familiar with SMS because you text your family or your friends or your colleagues every day on your phone, right? You can SMS, send a text to somebody if you're on an iPhone to an Android, vice versa. It doesn't matter. SMS is very universal, which is also why it's so powerful. Most SMS experiences right now revolve around broadcasts, and so that means that businesses will send out a one-time text to their whole list. Maybe it's about a discount coming up or something special, a piece of content that they've just released, and that's the end of the interaction. You receive it just like you would receive an email, and you can choose to click or not click. Now, the average response time for a text message is 90 seconds, according to CTIA, and that makes you realize that the open rate is even faster than that, firstly, but secondly, that there's a lot of opportunity and potential for user and business back and forth conversations, just like we see right now inside of Facebook Messenger chatbots. That very same experience or similar can exist in SMS and bring a ton of value to users as well as businesses. Now, right now, you may see a lot of business, marketing, celebrity influencers telling you to text them. Those are all very broadcast-driven experiences, again, where it's, hey, welcome to my list. I will text you whenever there's something going on, right? It's not so much you can ask questions or send text and then they'll text back. There's just way too much traffic going on for that, usually for those people, but more importantly, most of the platforms available don't allow you to have back and forth interactions. Now, ManyChat, which we've talked about quite a bit on this channel and is the primary platform that we use for our Facebook Messenger bots, actually allows you to have these back and forth SMS interactions. So their tool is a great option that we're testing more and more for that, because I definitely see that being a huge opportunity. Right now, maybe the back and forth SMS interactions you've had in your daily life may be similar to mine, like a doctor texting you a confirmation for an appointment you have coming up, and you can text back yes or no to confirm it or to cancel it. Maybe you booked a reservation at a restaurant for an upcoming dinner, and when your table is ready, that restaurant texts you, and you can respond to that to saying, I'm here, I'm on my way, I need to cancel. And those are just very minimal back and forth interactions, but are really laying the groundwork for what's to come with SMS. Within our marketing campaigns, we use SMS as the opt-in method or within the opt-in process. So if someone is opting into our Facebook Messenger bot, then during that process of them opting in for a lead magnet or reminders for something, whatever the use case might be, we're also going to get their phone number to then be able to, for example, with e-commerce, give them a discount with, let's say, an information product. Maybe we're sending them a reminder for a webinar. So there's a lot of things you can do in that opt-in process to get someone's phone number, and now you have another way of contacting them and also now access to this whole other channel that can bring a ton of value. In regards to how we use it along a campaign, we want to use it as much as possible where it makes sense. So typically we'll use the bot to bring people back to a messenger conversation, as well as have back and forth interactions. So if it's something simple like 1 to 3 steps, just because the artificial intelligence natural language processing isn't quite there yet as it is with, let's say, Facebook Messenger bots, then we can do simple 1 to 3 step back and forth conversations where the user doesn't need to type a whole lot to us. It's more of like a yes or no type of thing. Let's say maybe like a giveaway or someone booking an appointment. But then for anything else that's more complex, we do bring them back to Messenger, but that SMS ensures that they will actually come into the conversation, and then we can continue it there, right? We can find out what solutions do we have to their main problem based on the company and the services and products that you can offer them. Email plus a chatbot is the second thing that you should be focusing on in 2020 as a chat marketer. You as a marketer most likely know how email marketing works, I hope, but you probably aren't making the most of your email list by combining it with a chatbot experience. According to Campaign Monitor, the average email open rate is 17.9%. Now let's look at Messenger open rates for a moment. We have 2 that we actually look at because there are a lot of different use cases and conversations that happen, and so when people say my open rates are 100% across the board on average, that's usually maybe within a certain conversation, right? A back and forth conversation. If you're inside of that conversation, you're probably not going to walk away, at least for the first few messages, which is why the open rate's so high. So I want to talk about 2. I want to talk about a broadcast open rate, which would be if we're just sending out a message to our whole list or a segment of the list, but it's not about something that the user recently opted in for. And then a campaign open rate, the average that we see there, which would be if someone, let's say, opted in for a webinar reminder or a certain maybe freebie course that you're doing, or a lead magnet, because that's something more relevant, more recent that the user has interacted with, so obviously it's going to be a little bit higher. For broadcast, we'll see an average open rate of 67% across the board, and on our campaign messages, we'll see an average open rate of about 90%, usually higher, but again, 90% is kind of where it sits across the board for follow-up messages, as well as anything having to do with that recent opt-in that that person has just inquired about for your company. I share these open rates with you to 1, blow your mind about Messenger open rates, but 2, to help you realize how precious the people who open your emails are. And so we want to take advantage of those people who are super interested in your content and your offers, and in the call to actions within that email, the campaign or the broadcast that you're sending out, we want to send them to a chatbot instead of a landing page. And we've tested this across many different use cases for many different types of audiences and demographics, and it has all proven one thing, that we can generate more revenue overall, regardless of what happens when someone gets into the chatbot or into the landing page, simply because we are able to capture revenue from people who maybe weren't interested in the one specific product that you were trying to market them in that email and on that landing page, and instead in a conversation in the chatbot, we can help them purchase the product, help them find another product or service that we offer that would be a better fit for their pain point, or we can just help educate them a little bit more, whether that means sending them off somewhere else or helping them just understand, and then they're going to come back later on their own and purchase the right product for them. So this is definitely an area that you want to focus on as a chat marketer in 2020. It's very easy to implement as well as convince your clients to implement, because emails are easy to split test. So if they're really hesitant, you can say, hey, let's split test this and see how this goes. And more importantly, it's easy to implement with Messenger, because you can just add a link to your bot within all the call to actions and then run this test within a few weeks and have that data immediately available so that you can start to prove that client by client and implement it across the board to see better results and make your clients more money. The third thing you should focus on in 2020 as a chat marketing agency is voice. Now, when I say voice, I'm talking about Alexa and Google Assistant primarily, but everything I'm talking about is definitely applicable to all the other voice assistant systems like Siri or Cortana. There are so many different systems that are emerging that you're probably familiar with as well, but Alexa and Google Assistant definitely are on the rise the fastest. Even though voice search and skills are already here today, so it's definitely not something that's coming in the future, it is currently happening right now, regardless of whether you personally use them in your daily life or not. The more important thing to understand is that in the future, and actually happening right now, there is only one or a few spots in voice search for a certain question that a user has or a need that they need filled. So what I mean by that is if today you talk to Alexa, you've got an Alexa in your house, and say, I want to order a pizza, as an example. Well, she's going to give you one company recommendation. She'll say, depending on where you are locally, this response might change, but for me, where I am, Orange County, California, she tells me, how about Papa John's? And then I can say, yes, that sounds good, let's put in the order, or no, what other companies are around the area? And then she'll say, okay, how about Domino's? I say no, then she starts to go down the list, right? But like we all do with Google search, less than, I can't remember the statistic off the top of my head, but a very small percentage of users make it to the second and the third and the fourth pages of Google search. Usually that first page is where we find all the answers that we were looking for or that we think we needed for the question that we had that we were Googling. The same goes for voice search. What's the probability that a voice user is going to wait and go through all that long list of companies all the way until it gets to your mom and pop pizza shop? Most likely not, right? We're just going to stick with that first or the second or even the third response that we get, and that's going to be it. I want to share a few stats with you that will give you a better idea of where voice is headed and what the whole landscape looks like. Firstly, organic mobile traffic has been decreasing rapidly while voice search has been increasing dramatically as more and more households get Alexa devices and Google Assistant devices, smartphones, which also contain voice assistants, which we all have used at some point, even if you don't use it on a daily basis. And in 2017, ComScore said that by 2020, 50% of all searches would be voice searches, and we're very close to that. And Gartner also shared that 30% of searches would be done without a screen by 2020. As marketers, you need to know what you can do right now to help your clients win in this space and adapt to all the new marketing environments coming up. So 2 things that I recommend that you do that we are implementing for ourselves and our clients this year is number 1, creating rich snippets on our website structure data markup to increase our voice search traffic. So if you've ever searched for something on Google and you saw next to the search result, let's say music or movie information. Maybe you saw stars. Maybe it was a 4-star rating for a book. These are some examples of rich snippets, whereas a regular website search will just show, the headline, some information, so the index, and then the website URL. But rich snippets have a little bit more, a little bit extra, depending on what that website has and what they want to promote to the search results. And that stuff is going to help you rank higher in voice search. The second thing that you can do is create your minimum viable Alexa or Google Assistant skill, your minimum viable voice assistant skill. And that can be literally anything that could be useful and educational and valuable for your users, depending on what your company does, what products and services that you offer, and offering something to your leads, so something that's free and educational, as well as something to your customers that will help them have a better experience when they buy or use your product and service, are just some of the ideas that you can utilize. And what I would recommend is actually doing some research on your industry, skills within the industry that your company is in, and seeing what they do and taking some inspiration and ideas from that. Again, just create something simple, educational, your minimum viable voice assistant skill. And to create your skill, I recommend you use a platform like voiceflow.com. So these are the 3 things that we are working on in 2020 that we suggest you focus on as a chat marketing agency this year. Let me know down in the comments which of these you're going to be implementing first, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell to get notified when we drop new videos. Also, we have just launched our Instagram account, so make sure to head over there and follow School of Bots in order to get access to our daily free educational content. See you guys in the next video.